Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, we will present about digitalization and blockchain in post-harvest technology. So the members of this group are Aminatul Zahara binti Muhammad Fauzi, myself Nur Atirah Najwa binti Nazir, Nur Fahana binti Gani, Nur Zahira binti Zahir, and Siti Nur Iqamah binti Muhammad Nur. The next slide is the table of contents. There are 4 contents that will be discussed in this video. My name is Nur Atirah Najwa binti Nazir, and I will present the first part, which is traceability. Increasing concerns for food safety in many parts of the world have driven to a call for the creation and improvement of traceability system. So what is traceability? Traceability is a tracking system that involves documenting and connecting to the production, processing and distribution of food products until it reaches the final destination. Track and trace system is a fundamental and a necessity for major supermarket chains, and there are numerous systems that are accessible in this modern technology that can provide a variety of tools. So why we need traceability? The main reason is because traceability is method for safe food trading. Other than that, traceability can reduce the contamination, the disease, and spoilage in the food supply by identifying the hazards before the affected products make it to end consumer markets. In the case of product recalling, traceability enables the targeted withdrawal of foods which are most likely affected. Thus, it will minimize the waste and the market distortions in the food industry. Traceability can be particularly beneficial for fresh and perishable food value chains, as all of them are especially exposed to spoilage and contamination in the supply chain. On top of that, traceability will simultaneously protect consumer health at domestic and also international levels. There are several components of an integrated agriculture and food supply traceability system. The first one is production system traceability. This involves the ability to verify the farming system and the production inputs such as fertilizer, chemical sprays, water use, feeds and supplements, as well as the social considerations such as labor conditions. The second one is process system traceability. This involves the ability to verify any processing and post-harvest activities and treatments such as washing, drenches and dips, storage conditions, additive or chemical use, and the temperature conditions within the supply chain. The third one is pest and disease traceability. This involves the ability to ensure that no prohibited pests or diseases are introduced into the market. The last one is genetic traceability. This involves the information on the type and the origin of genetically modified organisms and the food products. A product may be tracked to different levels of details or granularity through the supply chain. The figure shown is the typical traceable resource units (TRU) that shows the movements of product from the production to the consumer. There are a few examples of technologies for assigning and reading IDs. The first one is the barcode. The four most important aspect of barcode is that they can help manage the supply chain when various food items are distributed. Barcode is widely used, and this technology involves the printing of a machine-readable code on individual packages. Barcode packaging is present in alphanumeric representations so that it can be human-readable for logistics and management purposes. With barcode, companies must follow specific rules and regulations set by the government in order to prevent any waste and to improve and enhance the product information for the consumers. The second one is the radio frequency ID, RFID. So, radio frequency identification is an alternative technology other than universal product code UPC barcodes. The fundamental application is a tag that communicates ID when close to a reader. RFID will enable identification of a product from a distance without requiring a line of sight and can incorporate additional data like the details of the product or the manufacturer. Other than that, it can transmit the measured environmental factors like temperature and relative humidity.
My name is Nur Farhana binti Gani, and I would like to continue to present about decentralization. First of all, decentralization is referring to the transfer of authority and responsibility for government functions from the central government to the intermediate and local governments and offering to communities as well as private sector, which has become widespread over the 1980s and 1990s. Although decentralization is not yet widely used and applied to the agricultural research and extensions, the strategies of decentralization are likely important to these agricultural knowledge and information systems. Decentralization is normally viewed based on one or two different perspectives. The perspective are the democratic perspective emphasizes the aspect of empowering local people to control and direct their own public programs or projects. The administrative perspective emphasizes the efficiency gains which is resulting from improved administration as well as the effectiveness of public programs controlled by local people. Decentralization is typically expected to encourage local financing and ownership of programs, result in more efficient and equitable allocation of government resources, ensure in lower cost of delivery service, provide incentive for production and service delivery, build local capacity, respond more effectively to the local needs. Decentralized renewables for post-harvest storage, transport, and distribution. The lack of proper post-harvest storage, processing, and transportation facilities is estimated to cause global losses. Reducing food losses where they mostly occur in poor rural communities can be accomplished by preserving food through pickling or drying. Food drying by using heat. Fruit, grains, rice, fish, corn, and other agricultural products can be dried by using off-grid renewable energy technologies. The use of a renewable-based dryer is more efficient than the traditional drying method. A renewable-based dryer allows to dry larger quantity of products in a shorter period of time. Solar dryer is the most commonly used technology for drying produce. However, other technologies like biomass and geothermal have also been considered. Solar dryer is practical especially in rural areas with no access to electricity as it does not require any electric ventilation or backup heat. It is simple to build just by using woodworking tools and basic skills. Solar energy heats the air and creates a flow of air that carries moisture away from the food which dries the food. The solar dryer can be constructed by using materials that are available locally and their construction can employ local workers. The benefits of the solar dryer are the preservation of nutritious products, increased income and saving on fossil fuel spending, generating additional income due to the production of larger quantities and better quality of products that can be sold at a higher price. And the last one is enable savings on fossil fuel and fuel wood spending. As you can see here, this is an example of solar dryer. Refrigeration by using heat and electricity. These technologies can be used in places that lack of affordable electricity supply in low-income and off-grid regions. The techniques for storing food are evaporative cooling, thermal cooling by using a solar energy or biogas, and running a cooling unit which is powered by off-grid renewables such as solar PV. Evaporative cooling is a basic principle that relies on cooling by evaporation. It is a simple technique for storing food and does not require any external power supply. This system can be used for storing food for a longer time and protecting it from humidity as well as the growth of fungi. There are various designs for evaporative coolers, which is depending on the available materials and the user's requirement. The common one is Zeopot.
My name is Aminatun Sahara and today I would like to talk about blockchain. Okay, here is the content that I would like to explain more about blockchain. Where the first is about definitions, the second is how blockchains work, the third is benefit, the fourth is applications, and the last is limitations that happen in blockchain. Okay, the first is definitions. Blockchain means a digital distributed ledger which is maintained by a network of multiple computing machines. It stores data in the form of blocks that are cryptographically secure and immutable. The term immutable will be discussed more in our next slide. Okay, next is how blockchain works. Okay, here is the diagram that shows how it works from producer, distributor, wholesalers until retailer with the usage of the blockchain. Okay, as we know, blockchain is a ledger which agents take turn to record information for the process of generating, transacting, and consuming a product or service. It is collectively managed by all participating parties and works typically through a peer-to-peer network. But any alterations to the recorded data need an approval from most of the parties involved because the data is immutable. It takes important information like product ID, name, price, and quantity to it will store in the blockchain. Okay, the benefit that we can get from blockchain is first is it allows peer-to-peer transactions where it can be done transparently and without the need for an intermediary like a bank or a middleman. So, it can build and restore the trust between producers and consumers. It also reduces the transaction costs in the agri-food market because it involves only producers and consumers. The next is it also provides transparency among all involved parties and facilitates the collections of reliable data because it records every step in a product's value chain, bringing a product's questions to its death. And the last is it also offers a reliable approach of tracing transactions between anonymous participants. So fraud and malfunctions can be detected quickly and reported in real time by incorporating smart contracts. It has several applications in blockchain such as agricultural insurance, smart farming, food supply chain, and e-commerce of agricultural technology. But here, we are focused about food supply chain and e-commerce of agricultural technology. The first is about food supply chain. The Malaysian Palm Oil Council, or known as MPOC, recently collaborated with Bloomberg and they developed a mobile applications and a web interface. They include information like detail of each tree, food harvesters, extraction processes, and others are stored and uploaded into the system of blockchain. The second is about e-commerce of agricultural technology. All farmers' shopping malls in China use this blockchain technology. Detailed information like seeding, watering, fertilizations, and dewormings are recorded and put into the platform. They also include basic knowledge such as storage day and storage temperature so customer can scan it via QR code and visit all the informations available. The last is about limitations. There are several limitations when they occur in blockchain. The first is further research is required on the transacting parties' motivations to provide a genuine and precise information to the blockchain ledger, though the information generated is scattered and owned by individual farmers. The second is obtaining the data uploaded to a blockchain can be very costly. The third is blockchain does not directly seamlessly integrate with existing legacy data. And the last is data is immutable, which means it cannot be changed or make any modifications to any of the records. So I think that's all for my part for blockchain.
My name is Zahira and I will present about VeChain blockchain. For definition, VeChain is a blockchain platform meant to improve the administration and business of supply chain. Its objective is to improve this procedure and the flow of information using distributed ledger technology for complicated supply chain. Next, how VeChain can be used. For example, it can be used to track the quality and authenticity of medicines or an alcohol bottle right from the production site through to final delivery to customers, store temperature, medium of transport, and ultimate mines. The site can also be used in order to achieve their aims. VeChain use RFID and smart chips that transmit key information into the blockchain network, which is accessible by authorized stakeholders in real time. For VeChain's blockchain platform, the blockchain platform is a public or known as mass business blockchain. There are two different tokens on the VeChain platform, which are VeChain Token (VET) and VeChain Tor Energy (VTHO). VET is the VeChain token used for smart contract to transport value or intelligent money. In other words, transactions in VeChain's blockchain on decentralized application employ VET. It is available to the public for investment. The token VTHO stands for the energy of VeChain Tor and is also known as the energy of VTOR. It is utilized for powering VeChain transactions and is the same as the cost of completing its blockchain transaction. There are advantages of VeChain. It has various additional desirable benefits that contribute to the supply chain sector, aside from integrating centralization and decentralization. It also can track important data as it is being transmitted with the use of RFID sensor and tags. The utilization of Internet of Things (IoT) and DLT technologies is another benefit which permits VeChain to have an important impact on the supply chain business.
Hi, my name is Siti Noikoma binti Muhammad Noor. I will continue the presentation about application of the VeChain. Almost 300 companies of Italian agriculture adopt the VeChain's blockchain. The largest association of Italian agriculture and the largest company in the country that processing the tomato rely on technology of VeChain's blockchain to make the tomato supply is chain traceable. To promote the transparency in tomato supply chain, Codiroti and Princess Industry Elementary, or known as PIA, had joined their forces and launched the project to guarantee the supply chain of vegetable and integrate the VeChain as a decentralized ledger technology, or known as DLT. Codiroti is a Confederación Nacional Cultivatory Directory, which is the largest association that represents and supports the Italian agriculture, while Princess Industry Elementary operates the largest processing of tomato plant in Europe at Foggia, Italy. The expectation of the company that around 300,000 metric tons of tomato will be processed from the end of July till the end of September. The project is controlled by Token Farm, which is an initiative of Codiroti led by Pierluigi Romiti. For each use of the source is close to the matter that the team has adopted VeChain blockchain for the pilot that seeks to foster the trust and transparency in supply chain of Italian agriculture products. Besides that, it is also boosts the confidence of the consumer by making it possible for consumers to view the whole history of the purchased product from from farm down to it hits the shelf during selling. This project has developed phase for a year and a half that involved almost 300 companies, 7 cooperatives and 6 producer associations that will use the VeChain based on the blockchain platform to track their deliveries. Romiti stated that this project is a great challenge that how it's being mastered. During the pandemic of the COVID-19, the farmers are trained how to use the platform and instead of the data production on the VeChain blockchain. In fact, 300,000 metric tons of tomato being passed through the Princess factory every year, which is now in the phase of the adoption by the farmers that are trained during the pandemic to use the apps to enter the data that are certified by blockchain. The first test of the project has been successful. This was the right way to guarantee the high quality of the tomatoes in Italy, said by Coldiretti. Besides that, Romiti stated that the VeChain blockchain also intends to guarantee the tomatoes is come from the farms that comply with required ethical standards, and it also said that the more we pay, the more we guarantee the quality of the tomato. Some of the complementary data of the blockchain is a growing list of records or known as blocks that are linked by using the cryptography, which is each of the block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp and transaction data. Blockchain technology is used widely to promote the traceability in an agricultural food industry. Because of the traceability of records, reliability, transparency, and information immutability make the blockchain facilitate the collaboration in ways that differ from both of the traditional use of contract and from relation norm. The contrary to contrast, the blockchain is not directly rely on the legal system to enforce the agreements. Moreover, contrary of the use of relation norm, blockchains not require trust or direct connection between the collaborators.
So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching.